Here are 3 things I wish people knew about dreams. I didn't know these facts myself, but now that I do know about them, I feel so much better about my dreams. Dreams can be confusing and scary, but when you understand these 3 things, you'll sleep much better and enjoy your dreams, especially number 3. Hi, I'm Karen, and I dream a lot. I like to talk about and study dreams and dream interpretations, and I do dream interpretations for people. Join me in the comments below. Let me know what is something you didn't know about dreams. So the first thing to remember that nobody ever tells us about dreams is that they are not warnings. When you dream something that is scary, it is not a warning. It is actually telling you what you're worried about. So when we go about our day and something comes up and we're worried, we think, oh my gosh, I wonder if I'm gonna have a car accident. I better drive better, right? It's not telling us we're going to have a car accident because we had the thought, I'm going to have a car accident. It's just something we're worried about, and we're aware that we're worried about it. So that's the same thing in dreams. If you dream that you are in a car accident, it is actually not because you're going to have a car accident. It's actually talking about how you're navigating your life and where you're going and how you're getting somewhere, or feeling like you're not getting there, feeling like everything has crashed. It's not a warning. It's telling you this is what you're worried is going to happen, or this is a symbol, and we'll talk about number 2 in a minute, of a more metaphorical symbol about what you're feeling like when you feel like things are crashing. That doesn't mean you're actually in a crash. Dreams are also telling us, besides just our worries and our anxieties, they're telling us other things that we're feeling about a situation that we might not be aware of either. So for example, if you have a dream, I recently had a dream where I dreamed that I was fired, and I had to remind myself this is not a warning, because when you wake up you're really scared, you're like, oh my gosh, does that mean? That's the first place your brain goes, right? But I was like, no, actually. So I even, for those, when I get really like, what was that? I use dreammoods.com. There's a link to it in the description below. And I looked up, what does it mean when you dream that you get fired? And it actually is telling you what you are kind of hoping to have happen, that you don't want to work there anymore. It's so, when I read that, that really resonated, because I actually, when I had that dream, was feeling some feelings of frustration with where I was working. And so it was showing to me, this is really deep. My subconscious wants me to know how strongly I feel these feelings. And that's why they come up in our dreams. The second thing that nobody ever tells us about dreams, and it's kind of related, is that dreams are not literal. They are not, and I kind of mentioned that a minute ago about the car crash. So when you dream about someone dying, for example, that doesn't mean they're really dying or they're really going to die. It's actually, people are representing not the actual people in real life, but they're actually representing qualities within you. So if you dream about your mother, you're not really dreaming about your real mother. You're dreaming about either your relationship with her, or you're dreaming about your own ability to nurture and mother yourself. If you dream about your brother, you're not necessarily dreaming about him and what's going to happen to him. You're dreaming about your relationship. I've done some videos recently on what it means when you dream that someone has died, and that doesn't mean they're going to die. So you can check that out. I'll put that link in the description below. What does it mean if we die? It's not literal. It doesn't mean that we are really dying or going to die. It is actually talking about transformation and change, and that something in us is passing away. An old part of us is passing away. So a lot of times people that haven't talked a lot about dreams, they think, well, my dreams are weird, and they're the only ones that have weird dreams. But everybody has weird dreams. Dreams are symbolic. They are speaking to us in imagery and metaphor, just the same way a poem or a song or artwork does. So there are songs where someone is talking about something, and they're not really talking about the actual thing. They're actually talking in metaphor. Oh, a classic metaphor that we all know about is feeling butterflies in our stomach. That doesn't mean there's really butterflies in our stomach, right? It's actually telling us we feel a fluttering feeling. So instead of saying fluttering, how is a dream going to show you fluttering unless it shows you butterflies in your stomach? Or how is a song or a poem or artwork? That's how metaphors have come along, and that's what dreams are. Dreams are metaphors. They're not literal. It's very rare that you dream something that is literally literal. And again, back to the first one, and a warning or prophetic or a prediction. Very rare. It's, again, you're in the realm of feeling and symbols. And what does this represent? What does this stand for you? And if you want to find out more about interpreting your dreams, check out other videos on my channel. If you're getting value from everything I've said so far, please click the like button so more people can find out about the things that they need to know about dreams. And thank you. The third thing that I really wish everybody knew, and I will be doing more videos on this, is that nightmares are easily treatable. Now, I know some people are going to be like, no, they're not, they're terrible, they're not. And I was afraid to talk about nightmares when I started talking about dream interpretation and doing dream interpretation. I was very nervous about nightmares. I've had them myself. I wasn't entirely sure about talking to people about their nightmares, and I was very cautious because I felt like that is something that psychologists alone should talk about with people, is nightmares. And I do feel that if you're having a lot of nightmares, yes, talk to a psychologist. But the more I read and study, the more I've learned that actually nightmares the techniques to use for nightmares are extremely effective, and they're easy. So I'll do another video in the future more about nightmares, but Dr. Leslie Ellis is a great person that I follow. She has a few videos on YouTube that I highly recommend, giving you some techniques if you have had a nightmare or you have them a lot, and what you can do about them. She has even given some information about how the American Academy of Sleep Medicine has said that they can easily decrease the frequency of nightmares and treat them. Sometimes medicines help, sometimes you don't even need medicine. And for example, you can do certain journaling exercises or reimaginings of your nightmares that help you to have a different perspective of them, and they don't feel so scary, or they kind of go away. Again, and back to the previous point, when you understand that the dreams are symbolic, then the nightmarish part of them goes away a little bit. That doesn't mean you won't feel scared in the dream sometimes, because a lot of times we need to feel fear, and nightmares give us, dreams rather, give us a safe place to feel deep, intense emotion, because we aren't giving ourselves that time, or maybe it's not safe enough during the day or around the people we're around to feel our feelings of fear or anger. And so those come up in our dreams, and that's why we have them in nightmares. But also, when you understand the symbolism of your dream, that it is symbolic, then when you see like an amputated arm or something like that in your dream, you will understand that, oh, that's symbolic of, I feel like I can't carry things, or whatever it is that the thing symbolizes. You understand that you're not really dreaming about people being hacked up or something, right? So one of the first people who I helped interpret their dreams, they were having that they were gross and gory, and they were disturbing, and it upset her a lot. And she was almost afraid to talk about them, because she thought if she talked about them more, she would have more. But as I worked with her to interpret the symbolism and find out what they really meant, she felt much better, and she didn't worry about her dreams as in the way that she had been. So working with your nightmares, even PTSD nightmares, can be greatly reduced. The stress of them, the feelings of them can be greatly reduced. So nightmares are not something to be afraid of. I mean, you're afraid of them, but there's something that can be managed, can be almost cured, even in many cases. So talk to your doctor, talk to your therapist or your psychologist if you have one. If you are at a company that has an employee assistance benefit program, I wouldn't tell them that you're having nightmares, but you can say you're having sleep problems, and then you can get a psychologist through that and talk to them about your nightmares. Not all psychologists understand nightmares as easily, but most of them do. So it's worth looking for and finding those answers, because nightmares are very easily treatable. People just don't talk about them, and that's why we don't know. And that's the name of this video, what they don't teach you about dreams. That nightmares, while we all have them from one degree to another, they are something that is easily treatable. Some of the things that you can do besides journaling and understanding their symbolism is to reimagine the way the dream happens, what happens in the dream, or how it ends. You can write it out or just imagine it in your head and re-see the scene and then change it into something where everything is all of a sudden flowers, or where the lights get turned on, or where whatever is chasing you actually comes up and says, hey, I'm here to help you. This thing's chasing me. Let's turn around and chase it, or something. Make it funny, or turn the thing chasing you into a big, giant marshmallow man, right? I'm thinking of Ghostbusters, actually. So no, you don't want to have a big giant marshmallow man chasing you, but shrink the thing, right? You can shrink it. You can turn around and ask it, what is it you want? Or whatever, if there's a thief breaking into your house, what is it that the thief is doing? Why are they there in the house in your dream? You can ask them these things when you wake up. You can ask them. You can journal. You can imagine. You can talk with a dream interpreter or a therapist or a psychologist or a counselor. So those are really encouraging things about dreams. So those are the 3 things that I wish everybody knew about dreams. I wish that they had taught us about dreams. And that's why I like talking about dreams and dream interpretation, is because it really helps people feel better. I feel better about my dreams. When I learned that the fact that I had dreamed like an Armageddon dream didn't mean that the world was ending, and it was very intense, and yet there was a piece of it that I felt so secure and confident in the dream when I was watching the world end. And that's because now I understand that a dream like that is talking about, again, transition and change, that my whole world is changing, and yet I will be okay. So when I wake up from a nightmare, I don't like that I had a nightmare, but I know that I have tools to understand it and to work with it. And again, this video is not supposed to be all about nightmares. That'll be another video, but it's just so encouraging to know that. That's also why I like to look at TV shows and movies and see how they handle dreams and dream interpretations. And I recently did a video on what it means when Rachel dreams about Chandler in a very specific way, in a very embarrassing way, in a very common way that we all have those kinds of dreams. So if you're interested in what that means and what it might mean if you have that kind of dream, but also what it means in Rachel's case, it's kind of a good exercise in learning how to interpret that kind of dream. So go ahead and click that video. And thank you for watching this one. You can subscribe to the channel here or follow me over on Instagram, also at Caryndreams.